Hello everyone, this is Lena with Especially Made for Me. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome. Hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo está mi gente? Gracias por estar aquí conmigo hoy. Just as, I guess as a starter, want to make sure we remind you to click on that bell, give thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and please be sure to share with friends and family the link to this tutorial, or invite them now and have them join us if you're watching us here live. And if you're here live, please be sure to say hello, let me know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, you can send us a comment just to let me know, and of course do thumbs up as well and subscribe. Let us know where you're watching from, if you're okay with that, if you're comfortable with that. Give us your first name so we can maybe address you by name and we can get to know each other. So just a few of those things. It shows us some love when you do that. Thumbs up, subscribe, share the link. Talk with us, ask questions, via comment. And if by chance you're watching the replay and you have a question on the tutorial, please do the same thing, because I do check the comments on all of our tutorials periodically, so I can make sure I answer any questions you may have, or just to give us kudos. If you learned something from the video, or this gives you an idea, and you make something, as always, we always ask to please tag us on social media. Take a picture and tag us. You could do the pound sign, #, especially made for the number 4 me, LLC, or without the LLC, or you could just abbreviate and do EM4M, whichever way is easiest for you. Please do join us. Tag us so that we can see. So we're going to be making a swag today. I'm hoping to make 2, but I couldn't find my the rest of my wire roll. So my husband is in our supply area, kind of like, look, perfect, yes, thank you, to find us some more material so that we can maybe do both. But in case not, depending on time, because I definitely don't want to make the tutorial longer than an hour if we don't have to. I'll just give you the idea, and maybe we can do that next time. So we'll see. So we're going to need, of course, some mesh, some floral wire. This wire that I have in my hand right now, they sell them in a roll at the Dollar Tree. That you can have, they usually have them in different colors, like purple and lime green and red and so on. But I like using this one when I'm making a swag or even a garland, because it's a little bit thicker than the that thinner floral wire. So it's not this kind where it's very thin. We can use that for bows and holding up signs. I think this one, let's see, is it 20 gauge, 22 gauge. So this one is much thinner than this other one that I'm talking about. And that's what we would need for a swag or garland if we're not using a ruler or an actual green garland already made. This is the kind of wire I use. You could also use this rope cord, and they also have them in brown or green. This is another one that's good to use, because with it having that wrapping around it, it holds the chenille stem a little bit better. It doesn't slide as easy. You could also, of course, glue the chenille stem, the pipe cleaner, onto it, whichever one you decide to use, and then just cut it to the size that you want. If you're going to be making a small swag, or a little bit bigger, or if you are making the garland, then of course you're going to need the full piece. This one is actually already cut. And then, of course, if you have the big rolls, then you can cut it to size as needed. So those are some items you'll need. And I did mention some mesh. And I'd like to, while I put this on silent so we won't be rudely interrupted. Sorry about that. Want to show you, this is something new we have in our shop. It's woven paper mesh. And I'll also show it to you from the top camera as well once we change the view. So we're going to be using that for our project today. It's actual paper mesh that we're going to be using, but it's woven. So it's a little bit thicker, and I'll show you that thickness too, because I already have it on my mesh roller here. And you can see it's not no flimsy paper. It's very thick. So, hello, Miss Hala. You made it. Good to have you. Glad you're here. We also going to be showing this other, it's a sheer stripe fabric that's also in the shop. This one's burgundy. And then we also have it in, let me go ahead and roll this other one back out of the way so I can show you the roll for the other one. Because this one is like a, they call it apple, but it's like a lime. So it's like a, what is it, Granny Smith apple type color. So we have both of these in the sheer stripe fabric. So these are fabric rolls that you can use for making swags and garlands and all the things that we normally make, right? So we're going to be doing a project with both of these, both the sheer fabric and the woven one. So I want to show you, let me go ahead and switch the view here. Okay, see if you can see it a little bit better. So it's woven paper mesh. So it's, and like I said, it's very thick. So I'm gonna put this one down because it's already wrapped. But I want to show you the one that already opened up and put it here in our mesh roller, because I want you to see how thick it is. It's not like flimsy paper. I mean, you can really mess with it. It's not going to break apart. So I guess that's why they call it, it's still a mesh, but it's made out of paper and it's all woven together. So it's nothing flimsy about it. So I'm going to try to see, so you can see it's very, very tightly woven. Woven, my accent kicks in. So that's what we're going to be using for our project today, because I wanted to put it in action. I haven't actually cut through it yet, so I want to see how it's going to respond to that. And then this is the sheer one. This is fabric one, and it's got these little stripes on it. I don't know if you can see that through the on the camera, but it's nice and sheer and very easy to maneuver. But it's measured basically the same way as our mesh. And then we also have the lime one here that we're going to be using. So it's pretty, it's sheer, so it's see-through. But we're going to be doing a small, well, about average size swag today. And we're going to be using those just so that we can see how it works. Because why not, right? So we're going to need that, or your preferred type of mesh. Of course, your either your wired cord or your floral wire, so that we can put our stems on it. And we're going to need some stems, chenille stems, pipe cleaners, so we can go ahead and get them positioned on our wire. So we're going to basically make this just as we would any other swag. We're just using different material. So you can see how cute, and we can see how well it works together. So I'm just going to position some stems on here, and I'm going to turn on my handy dandy gun so it'll start warming up. Of course, we're going to need some ribbons. So I have some ribbons out already, and this one's got striped colors here, and it's got the same colors as our woven paper mesh. It's got the red and the lime green on the sides, and then it's got our polka dots in the middle, and then of course some red, because we gotta have red, it's all Christmas. And if we have time, I want to make a second one with these. So I have the white, and when I have this other ribbon, and I actually have some stems to match everything. So I have these for that one, and for our red, we have some of these to put on our swag. So we'll just have some fun and just go with it. Have some Christmas balls here also to the side. So we should have some fun. I was thinking, you know, Christmas is around the corner. Probably should move on to Valentine's already. And then I was like, next week. We'll start Valentine's next week. So now you know what we'll be working on for next week. We'll be doing a Valentine's Day project. So what I'm doing here is just kind of turning this over, since my hot glue is not ready. I want to turn just to make sure it doesn't slide out all the way on me. I don't have my needle nose pliers to do that, so I'm just kind of trying to do it without breaking it, and then I don't want to cut it. I just wanted to turn a little bit. Little twist. Okay. So how are we doing today, Miss Hyla? So I'm going to be putting these about 3 inches apart. Not going to go too far out because, and I might actually go a little bit shorter than that. We're using a sheer fabric as our base. So we want to make sure it provides us with a little bit of coverage. We're not going to need much because our paper mesh is very thick, so I think we'll be okay. So that's just my little disclaimer, since it's the first time I'm going to use it for this. But that trusty woven, I think the key is on the woven, because there's some paper stuff out there that's not. It's just a thin piece of paper, and it just doesn't provide us much coverage. I think we'll be just fine with this one. Oh, you're better than I am. I see you posting different things on there. You're doing good. I'm way behind schedule on posting stuff. I always forget, since we do vendor shows and stuff, and then it's like, oh, you know, we haven't posted anything on the Etsy shop. So I'm definitely behind, so I understand. Doing good. Just feeling like, you know, just like we were saying about, you know, being behind on stuff. It's just a busy time of the year. So much going on. Just kind of feel like, okay, I'm gonna get caught up here. But there's just doesn't seem to be any catching up. I don't know. We'll see. But doing good. Can't complain, really. I did get to post some of the new mesh. I still have some more to put up. So I guess I'm not doing too bad. It's just a little bit behind schedule. Let's see. It's moving on me. Is my glue ready? My glue gun is not ready yet. I need about 3 more, and we'll be ready to roll. I know. I think for it, you know, well, I guess for any shop really, because you can kind of see it when we go into the local stores. It's about 3 months ahead, you know. That's like the rule of thumb, to be like 3 months ahead on posting. But hey, we do what we can. That's all we can do, right? Alrighty, I think that might be our last one. So I'm gonna bend our little end just like with the other. And I do these just to make sure, in case, you know, normally I glue them if I can. Put like a little drop of glue to kind of help them stay still. But I always like to, when I use this wire one, to bend the ends, if I remember, because, you know, I'm so forgetful sometimes. Because that way, if the glue gets loose, at least it doesn't come all the way out. It might move, you know, with mesh being so forgiving. Can't really tell too much. Yep. Best we can. Alright, so we're going to start with our fabric mesh first, and I'm going to do it just as we would with any kind of mesh, just kind of ruffling it together at the end so I can pull on it and get started. So really, as far as the process goes, nothing different. I'm going to measure out what kind of tail I may want. I'm going about 10 inches. Let's see, that might be too long. So I want it to be ruffled. That's 6 inches. So I want the end to be a little bit ruffled. And what that does is kind of extend the length of our swag, but at the same time, it gives us a way to put a bow on here if we want, or just do some streamers, you know, the ribbons. Let's see, how far did I go with that? I'm just kind of going by eye. It's about 5 to 6 inches. Because again, we want it to stay a little bit ruffled. And then our biggest decision is going to be, do we want to cut ruffles or do we want to do curls? Decisions. And I'm just doing poofs right now and just kind of opening them up. So it looks just the same. The only difference is we're using fabric. Same process here on tying it down. I'm just going into opposite directions and pulling tightly and giving it a twist. So nothing different there if you've done the swags and poof method before. Are you ready for Christmas? I was talking to Miss Monica last time, and she started already. She's got her Christmas tree up and all of that. We decided to not even go there. We tried, but we just had stuff coming up. We have other things that, you know, to decorate around the house, of course, and in the front of the house and all of that. But we just didn't make it to doing the tree. It just didn't happen this year. I'm liking this. And I like this burgundy too. Hope you can see it well enough on the camera. Wrap presents. Oh yes. I think that's another fun part, isn't it? I like making bows for my presents. My husband is like, well, you know, they're going to tear through that stuff, especially for the kids, you know. They're not going to care about a bow. It's like, but I want to make a pretty bow. Why can't I put a pretty bow on the present? I love wrapping presents. I know, of course, the quick, easy thing, you know, get a nice, pretty bag and put some paper in it, and you're done. But there's just something about opening up the actual presents and having to tear up that paper. I remember that as a kid, so. Ooh, that sounds nice. Using mesh and ribbons and some floral picks. That's a neat idea. Yes, definitely like having the pretty bows on the presents. So I'm thinking, I always forget. I need help remembering to do our Spanish word. I don't think I've done that in the past 2 or 3 videos. But since we're talking bows, those are cintas in Spanish. Cintas. I think I need to make this one a little bit bigger. Need to make my poof a little bit bigger. There we go. So kind of like that, there's a company out there and you see the truck sometimes and it has cintas on it. I don't know if that may be just in Florida. But basically that's bows in Spanish. And I have an extra, so let me take this one out. We can use that for a bow or something. Let's get it out of the way. Okay, our last one. Oh, this is cool. I like it. All right, so let's cut our fabric. And I'm going to be bad and just kind of, without necessarily measuring. Then we can straighten it up if we need to. So bad, so bad. Yes. So it must be just a women thing. I don't know. It's a woman thing. Gotta have some bows. Maybe that's why my hubby doesn't care too much about the bows. That's not working out too well, me doing it that way. That's what I get for not cutting straight. There we go. Alrighty. So let's see, can we see that? Look how cute. And it's fabric. I like it. Okay, so let's see how we're going to decide to do our woven paper mesh. And I was amazed as to how thick this thing is. So I am thinking decisions. I think I'm going to go try to do ruffles. But I think curls would look good too. Let's just test it out. Why not? That way we know how we can use it, right? But when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, that's kind of interesting. So with this one being so thick, I don't think we need to do 20. I'm going to go to 15. Maybe, I don't know. Let's go with the usual 20 and see what happens. We could always start cutting shorter. We're going to test it out just to make sure. We can use it for everything we want to use it for. Alright, let's see. It's not coming apart. Yay. I'm liking it. And I like the way they have these colors just woven together. So let's see. And it's really, really thick. So we may have to do curls instead of ruffles. But I like it. Look how cute. Let me make that a little bit. And even on the other side. We can do this. It's just going to cover our burgundy underneath if we keep it. Let's see. Let me turn this over. Maybe I can do these the long way. You know, you're nice and tight. Yes, it is. It's thick, but like you said, very stiff. But it's nice because you know it's not going to really be falling apart too. Look at that. Hello there. So I think if we go with the ruffles, we even can skip a stem. But we can do ruffle and then do curl, ruffle, curl, and so on. Let's do that. Let's see. I like that idea. Kind of, you notice I cut that a little bit jagged there. So we're going to stick with the 20 for the ruffles. So we'll need, let's see, 4. And then the others we'll do curls. See, I'm trying to be really gentle with it because it's woven paper, but I guess I don't need to be. I don't need to be that gentle. Oops. Gonna do one at a time here since it's kind of thick. So we're gonna do a swag, which can also be used as a centerpiece. That's why I like doing swags like this. Just doing a ruffle, and we're gonna skip one and put the ruffle on the one over. We'll have our curl in between. Okay, so again, I'm just making sure it's nice and tight and giving it a twist or two, and then just kind of wrap it around so it'll be nice and rounded. I'm thinking we may not even need that curl. That's a shame. I was looking forward to doing the curl. Am I hearing an ice cream truck at this hour? I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but I just had something pass by. It sounded like it was an ice cream truck. That was weird. So how about the Christmas dinner shopping? Everybody done with that? I don't think we've even done that. We're way behind schedule. But this year, I think we don't have a whole house full. And just kind of overlapping the edges so that way it'll be nice and rounded. The more you kind of do that overlap, the more rounded it'll look. Yeah. I had to kind of like feel it's like, did I hear right? This is Florida though, and it is hot out here, but so you know, there's no telling. No shopping for dinner yet either. Okay, I'm feeling a little better. I feel so behind on everything. I told my hubby that we had to at least make sure we had the front and things outside decorated. It's like, you know, people pass by here and they'll be like, really? Is that a crafter's house? It's not looking like it's a crafter's house. So at least that part is done. Kind of, sort of. We do have some things out around the house, but just not, we didn't go as far out like, you know, like the norm. It's just one of those years, I guess. One more. Are you? We did, we're doing, you know, like usually we do like an angel tree at work. And this year they said they weren't going to do it. You know, there weren't that many participating last year and all of this. And I kind of felt a little bummed because it's like one of those things that, you know, I enjoyed, you know, doing, just shopping for, you know, kids in need and whatnot. And it just happened, God just worked it out, and you know, a need came through, and those of us in the office just kind of got together. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this. And we're doing it. So we did some shopping today for that, and that was nice to be able to do that. But other than that, that's as far as the shopping has gone. So I'm just turning the I was almost saying zip ties, our chenille stems kind of the long way, so that way I can put this like on a sideway type, so it makes it easier for wrapping the chenille stem on our thick woven paper mesh. You didn't do much outside either? Yeah, I think it's just one of those years. There's been so much going on. Pandemic and all, I guess. Alright, so I know we're probably not gonna get to do the curls. I'll try and do the curls. I'm gonna do it just to see how it will look. So I want to test this thing out. So I'm gonna cut it at 10 to do our curls. I'm gonna try and do it this way. These boards come in handy. I would have cut 3 just like that. 1, 2, 3. So we need 4. Oh, what did I do? I didn't cut it all the way through, so I started pulling on it. That's my bad. Need 1 more. And again, I'm just doing these at 10 inches. I'm kind of liking that woven paper. So I'm just going to curl these in the same way that it wants to curl. And we could probably go even 5 inches on these because it's so thick. And I'm going to hold it up since I went around it a couple of times. Excuse me. So I'm going to kind of gauge for our middle. And I'm just going to put it on here and see if I can find that other stem. Same thing here. We're going to need to turn it. And I don't think it really needs it. There's plenty of coverage. But since we have that stem, let's see. Do we like it with it or without? I think we need to just leave it out. I just had another idea, but I don't have that mesh on here. I think it's too much of the same. I'm going to change tactics. I don't think it needs that. Just tie that back in. It's a coming loose. Alrighty. Let me put these back the way they were. Okay, so we have our 5, so we'll know where our center is. That was the idea. So we have our 2 on each side and then 1 in the middle. So then we can decide to really spruce up our middle and then kind of dwindle down. And we have our picks. Can you see that okay? So I think that will look good. And where is my other? And of course we're going to do some ribbons like normal. So we're going to cut that. I already have some cut. And we have our Christmas balls. If I can get them out here. And our glue gun should be ready, so we'll be able to get these on here. So that's more or less our look. So we can highlight that middle and get those off. Let's see, we have 3. So we need 2 more of our red. And it's, where did it go? There we go. Why put so much on this, Terry? Well, that wasn't the idea. At the beginning of the tutorial, I had mentioned this is a new mesh that I put up on the store, and I wanted to test it out because I had never used woven paper mesh. I used some other woven mesh, but not paper mesh, and I wanted to see how it would work with ruffles. Originally, we were going to be doing curls, so it wouldn't hide everything, but then I kind of liked how it looked with the big ruffles, so that's what happened. We kind of play things by ear. We just kind of adapt and overcome over here. But that wasn't the original plan. If that answers your question, I hope it does. And we're going to go 12 inches with these. And the other original thought was that we wanted to make sure we had plenty of coverage of that wire underneath it. Hence doing the poof method with the sheer fabric. That sheer fabric, you know, as it is sheer. So 4. Oops, we don't need the 5th one, we just need the 4. Did I do 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Gotta make sure I can count. So I'm going to go ahead and dovetail these real quick. So we just fold those, and then from the folded end, we cut diagonally towards the wired end, towards that corner. And that gives us that V shape, which we call dovetail. In case we have any newbies out there. Okay. And we'll do that again with the next set. So another thing I like about doing this type of swag, you don't need as much material, you don't need as much ribbon, and you can make a lot more of them with the same rolls of mesh. So it saves some dough. And I'm only cutting 4 pieces because again we're gonna highlight our middle and do that bow in the middle. Kind of like the, was that last week? I don't even remember. Or the week before. We did the other one with the yardstick. Almost the same concept. We're just using different material and a different base. Yeah, it's, you know, we could always plan, but we end up having to change things around, don't we? That's why I always have like extra stuff around me, because it's like I might change my mind in the middle of the project, you know. Can never plan it out 100%. Uh-oh. See, I have to change it. I thought I had enough of this remnant. And I'm not putting that in the trash, by the way. I mean, in the floor. There is a trash can right there. Alright, so with this one we have 3 instead of 4. So we might end up using just 2. gonna alternate. You know, for those of you that watch me periodically, I like using up my remnants. Gotta come up with projects with the remnants to use them up. Can't let stuff go to waste. Okay, gonna dovetail these as well. And this ribbon has all the same colors as our woven paper mesh. And it's got them in stripes, like diagonally stripes on the edges. So the same burgundy and lime and white, it's on the ribbon. Okay, just finding my middle. Now you can scrunch it right from here. Or you can put them on your table and then kind of ruffle it right in the middle. So again, since we're highlighting our middle, I'm going to use our 2 right past our middle. So that way we'll have 2 of the same, and then we'll have the other 2 on the other side. Now here, it's another place where you would have to make a decision. And that's on how you place your ribbons. If you want both coming in the same way, like both up and both down, you could do that. Let me show you what that will look like. So you can do something like that. I normally go with one up and one down, just so I can spread those colors more. Okay, and you could always do them both as a B. So they'll all be a V, not a B. My accent kicked in again. V as in Victor. So you'll have both of them in the same direction. Ah, thank you. It's one of my favorites. I thought I had another roll on the table because I knew this was a remnant. And I guess I didn't pull it out. So we, again, adapt and overcome. This is the other way that I was mentioning. Once you find your middle, you can scrunch it right on your table. And then you have your middle. Okay. And again, we're going to go nice and tight and just give it a twist or two. And then precision our ribbons. Okay, so I'm going to be bad. Where did my other... Thought I had a candy one. There it goes. Excuse me, y'all. We'll see how this goes. Haha. So I'm going to be using this. It's like peppermint candy, but the other 2. And then we'll go on with our bow. So we're only going to need 2. So 1 and 2. And we're going to also dovetail them. I think that gives it a more finished look. You could also do a diagonal cut if you don't want to do the dovetail. I use that one more when I'm going to be curling the ribbons, and usually on the 1-inch ones, you know, the thinner ribbons. So that's another option there. I like giving options. Okay, still leaving the red one on the bottom because my thought behind that, we already have all this extra print on our woven paper mesh. So I'm going to put the red on the bottom. And again, you could do it right on the table, or you could do it on your hands, with your hands. Matters not. It's all based on your preference. That's another thing I like about crafting. There's no do or die rules. Gotta keep it fun. Okay, so on this one that I'm zigzagging right next to it, since I have the red going down, I have the red on the other side, so that way they're not just going red, red, red. Again, just my way of spreading the colors around, but you can, again, do based on your preference. It all depends on the look you want to achieve. This is mainly to give you ideas. Hopefully you get some good ones while watching my crazy. Okay, for our last one. So when you do it this way, whether you use the wire, the floral wire we just used, or use the yardstick like we did the other project, and you count your spacing. If you do 5 cuts of your mesh, whether you do ruffles or a curl or a bundle, then it'll automatically highlight your middle, so that way you know just how to place things on here. And our glue's ready. So I'm gonna cut the stem just enough so that we can go ahead and glue it right on here. So on these, on the immediate size, we're not going to use the Christmas balls. I already took the label off. And what I like to do is just kind of roll your chenille stem, or you can cut it if you like. I just find that kind of helps more when you're going to be using glue to glue something on top. Of course, if you don't, it'll just go on your ribbon, which is fine as well. It'll be covered. You could do either or. It's good to have options. So if we have time to do the other, I'll do curls on the next one. So I'm just going to put some glue right onto our stem here. And we're going to put it right on top. I'm going to hold it down for a couple of seconds. I went to Home Depot the other day. I think it was for just some more shells we needed. And they have the Ryobi tools on sale. And I was like, whoo, do I need more stuff? That just reminded me since I was using the glue gun. Just love my glue gun. Don't have to worry about cords. I do have a link for that, by the way, if anybody wants to look for that. I do have a link on the bottom of the video. Glad you like it. Thank you. Okay, this is going to be the next big thing. So I don't think I have 2 of the lime and green. I was thinking of using this green one for our middle once we do our bow. And then, let's see, I have the smaller ones over there. I use these. And we only need 2. I do take these off. Now you could put some glue on it and put these back on. You want one of the guns? I definitely recommend it. It's definitely helpful. It makes it even easier when we have vendor shows. We take it just in case we need it to quick repairs, or if I'm going to be making stuff on site, just to carry that with and just charge the battery, have an extra battery, or have my little solar thing, charge it back up, and it's just wonderful. But these you could take back off, put some glue on there if you want to keep them on. If you want to use them to strap it right onto the chenille stem, so you could do that. You'll be able to put that back on and run the chenille stem right through that little hook. Or if you're not going to do that and you're going to go straight on, then you could just take them right off and not have to worry about it. So some options there as well. And I want to use some of these. Gotta have some more glitter. Glitter. Sparkle. Got a little bit of gold. I'm thinking the other one's too big, so that's why I'm going with this lighter one. I always fight with these. Does anybody have a little trick for these? Sometimes they come out on their own very easy, sometimes they don't. And the fighting. Come on out. There we go. I'm thinking those are not gold enough. My other one golder. More gold. Golder, I said. Let's see. This one darker. They look about the same. Guess it depends on how the light hits it. We'll see how that goes. We'll try it out. Because why not? We can do this. Okay, so the idea with these is to have one of each. And we're going to go to our ends. And then just kind of put them together as I apply the glue, so I know where they're going to touch. That way I could already have them together. If that makes sense. And I just give it a couple of seconds so that it'll dry. And then I'll do the glue right in the middle to put onto our swag. I didn't even notice till now, Miss Hyla, that you got kicked off earlier. Guess I'm not keeping up with all the... Guess it got jumbled together with the comments. Glad you were able to get back on. Forgot to turn my little stems on this one, so I'll just cut those off in a bit. And I'll try to multitask because I don't want to, I was trying to keep the video under an hour, so we might not get to do the second swag. Because it's almost at an hour already. So while that is drying, I'm just twisting the stems on the other side so they'll be ready, since I forgot to do it on this one. I think the internet is just getting a little bit snickety. We changed internet providers, and with everything through the week seemed to be going well, and I'm still getting that little warning sign like it's not, like YouTube is not receiving enough data. I don't know why it does that. But thankfully it hasn't disconnected us, so not sure what that's about either. So I'm thinking there's just issues with internet all the way around. We were thinking it was the internet provider we were using, and we changed on Saturday, last Saturday, thinking, okay, enough of this. Moved that a little too soon. There we go. Just wanted to make sure you can see this other side. Okay, doing the same thing on this one, just applying some glue. And hopefully not burn myself, because I'm very good with doing that. And on these, you can use any kind of stems you like, or if you want to use the Christmas balls all the way through, or use something else. This is just some embellishments. I thought, hey, I have a few of these and some that I opened up that are halfway down the cylinder, and I thought I could start using them up. So that's why I picked these, but you pick what you prefer. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off. That glue should be pretty much dry on that side. And then I'll go around and cut where we didn't use the stems. I'll cut those off as well. Can't really see. Just knock that off. Trying to do that. It wasn't fully dry yet. A little bit more, just to make sure. All right, so that's pretty much it. We just gotta make a bow for the middle, and we'll be good to go. Hi, Miss Susan. I'm going to start moving this over so we can see it, and getting ready to make our bow for the middle. And cut these out of our way. Any? I don't see any. Okay. Oop, I did miss one. There we go. Okay, so for our bow, I'm going to use the bow dauber today. Just because. Why not? So I'm going to be bringing our burgundy red on over, so we can start with that as the bottom. Start of our bow. And we don't want to make the tails too long, because if we're going to put the swag on as a centerpiece, let's see, that's about 7 inches. We don't want the tails to be too long for a table, but that way we can still use it for a table or hang it on a door. Yeah, it looks that way, huh? Spam, I was wondering, because I'm seeing some weird things coming through. I was trying to ignore it. I have to check and see what's having the new internet provider to see what other settings we might need to rework here. Okay, so I'm going about 4 inches out. I'm going to do 3 loops on each side. And on this last one, I'm not going to twist. Just going to make our dovetail. I'm putting them in opposite directions. Let me make sure you can see that. So I'm just positioning these to where we can spread the loops out, but have the tails also in opposite directions. There we go. Okay, moving on to our peppermint. Yes, I do the blocking as well. I will definitely take care of that. Okay, so with these, same thing, about the same length, but we're only going to do 2. Probably just 1 on each side. Let's see. So I want to have the tails. And I'm going to make these loops slightly shorter because I want to make sure we can still see that red, our burgundy red underneath it. And again, not twisting on that last one. Let's see, be the same size. There we go. Okay, so we're going to use our little chenille pin to tie this off, and then we'll use that to tie it off onto the solid red ribbon. Let's see, it's not satin. Let me see if I can pull it out for you. It does have some shine to it, so it may have satin on it, but let me see if it'll tell me, because it doesn't feel like satin to me. It says polyester on the skin here, but it does have some shine to it. Okay, I'm just going to run this through the bottom. I'm going to pick this up so we don't have too much on the ribbon end. And I'm going to go from the top. I'm just holding it with my thumb. And I'm going to give it a twist underneath just to make sure it's nice and tight. Just give it a couple of twists, and then we can play with it a bit to kind of shape it up. So my thought here is to have the tails go in different directions. I'm just gonna play with our loops here and just spread them out. Do you have one go up and the other one in the opposite direction? And we'll play with it some more once we have it on here. I'm gonna cut this down a little bit because we don't need that much since we have the other tails on here. Yeah, it does. I like the little shine, and it's, again, it's on how the light hits it, you know, because when the light is not right on it, it doesn't shimmer as much, of course, you know, but it does make it shine. And I'm just using the stems here to tie our bow in. And giving it a couple of twists down here. And then we'll re-ruffle our, we'll play with our bow. And just cutting off the excess stem. Alrighty. So here, I want to make sure we have all of our colors spread around. Same as with the mesh and the other ribbons. And then we want tails in all sorts of different directions. And we can cut our tails as we need to. I like them a little bit shorter, so I kind of wait until it's all done and cut as needed. But for this kind of bow, it's supposed to be a messy bow. And usually if you use more ribbons of different kinds and then you have the tails facing in all the different directions, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I'll cut this one a little bit as well. I don't want it to extend past the mesh, in case you're wondering why I keep cutting it. That's all it is. I want it to be shorter. And there's our bow. And I was thinking of, just so that I could add some of that green, if I can get it out of here. Oh, now I have glitter all over the place. There's glitter. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Take this off. And this is what I was thinking with this. Just kind of add the green there, because it's got green and it's got the red and the white. Now this one is slightly bigger, but it is our center, so nothing wrong with highlighting the center, in my opinion. Going to hold it there in place for a bit and turn this thing off because we're not going to need it anymore. And I'll try to reposition this so you can see it a little bit better, be able to see the whole thing. Okay. Let's see. No, more this way. Haha, there we go. Kind of, sort of. Let me see the ends. I need to go more this way. There we go. Alrighty. And then, of course, we can shape it since it is wired. If it looks a little twisted, you can straighten it back out. And there's our swag slash centerpiece. using woven paper. And my thought was to make another one a little bit smaller, but using different ribbons and using, instead of a burgundy, the burgundy sheer one, I was going to use the apple, but don't want to make the tutorial too long. But same concept, just using different material again. Thank you, Hyla. Glad you were able to join me. Let me know again if any questions on anything, concerns on materials, or questions on the materials, or ideas and different options. I'll be glad to answer those. Even if you're watching the replay later, you can put it on the comments. I do check those as well, and I can answer those later. I do check them periodically. I think I lost my mouse. Must have thrown it somewhere. It's hiding. I want to change the view so we can maybe see it a little bit better. Let's see. We can see the top. Let's see here. And I can hold it so you can see if I can hold it up. There we go. So there it is, just being held up, and you can position it with the wire. You can twist it around the door, like to put it on the corner. So that's another option. You can use it as a corner piece. That's the idea with using the wire. But just some ideas there. Hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, please do a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to share the link. I'm going to switch the camera back up so you can see the swag again. Share with friends and family, social media, and tag us if you do make it or make something similar. You've gotten some ideas from it. Tag us on social media using the hash sign, especially made for me, so I can see it as well. Oh, thank you. I do try. I want to make sure that I have, good prices on it. So I know how it is for, for us that do crafting, us creatives. We need materials. We can't be paying an arm and a leg for it. So that's what my mom used to say. Can't pay an arm and a leg for stuff all the time. So thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, Hyla. Hope we get to join each other again soon. We'll be back again on Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to work on a project. You have a wonderful night. Continue to create. Stay safe, stay liquid, and stay tuned. We'll see each other next time. Good night.